Hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. If you're joining me live, let me know you're here. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, and I welcome you to this live. I don't know where you are. Maybe you can tell me where you are, but it is cold and chilly in California, man. It is cold and chilly. I know some of you East Coasters are not gonna believe me, but it is. What? Little PK in the house. PK, you may like this one. You may like this one. So, yeah, it's a little chilly. So let's get started with tonight's message. I have started to brand myself as a side gig Sean. Um, uh, Ever since I decided to leave the corporate world and get into network marketing all in and kind of be done with the corporate world, if you would. But for me, that may be the case. For many, that may not be the case. So in the world of today, hey Jenny, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. I'm glad you guys are awake. This is a good one. So in the world of sorry, you guys. In the world of side gigs and side projects and gig economy. I love that, by the way. Doing great, doing pretty awesome. Thank you. Gig economy, whatever you want to call it, right? You got a full-time job and you got something else. Back in the day, it used to be. Now, who remembers this, right? I've had 38 jobs, so back in the day, you used to have a full-time job and like a part-time job. They were both like jobs, right? It wasn't like you had a full-time job and then you ran a business from home. No, it wasn't like that. It was very rare. If somebody said that, you'd be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So back in the day, it was like a full-time job and a part-time job, right? But now it's like so much more common that you got a full-time job and you got something on the side, some kind of a thing going on the side to make you some money. And if you don't have that, then you know people that do. I mean, it's just straight up, there's tons of people, everybody almost is getting into something on the side, right? Now, in this world of like I said, in the whole world of the side gig or gig economy, there's so much you could do, right? You could become, you could become an affiliate for Amazon. It'll take you decades to get paid, but you can do that, And then you could do, I don't know, you could do affiliate marketing. I don't know how people do it. Yeah. So you have people that, let's say, I don't know, sell stuff online. They make stuff and then they sell them. They make it themselves, right? You got people that are working for, let's say, they have chat services. Like all customer service stuff is becoming like all chats. So you could do like chat services from home. You could do that part-time, or you could do surveys from home, right? Amazon pays, I had an example one time. I don't have it, but yeah, it takes forever for you to get paid like $300, $400. But you could do all this stuff, right? And so when you get into my space and network marketing space, I want to give you a couple things that, most people won't tell you, um, probably what most people won't tell you. And this was brought to my attention. So I want to make sure. I've done a live on this before, but it's been a long time. It's been a while. So I do want to make sure. Now that one was a bit more comprehensive. This one I'm going to touch on a couple of things, but I want to make sure that this is really solid. Because like I said, in the world of side gig and the gig economy, there's so much you could do. Again, you gotta understand yourself. This is for you. You gotta understand. Yeah, 18 cents on a product. I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm not even gonna say anything. But in the in the that's funny. In the world of like this whole side gig economy, there's just like so much you could do, right? At the end of the day, you gotta understand. This is all you. You gotta figure out. Okay, well, like how much time do I want to put in, and how much money do I want to make? I mean, it's really that simple. It doesn't matter what you do. It could be selling like phone cases. It's just how much time do you want to put in, and how much do you want to make? I mean, it's just really that simple, right? And then you figure it out, right? Now, in my space, I want to share with you in my space, right? Now, my thing is, personally, my thing is I like to show people who want to make $1,000 a month or more without recruiting, like not even single person, like in their whole lifetime. That's my thing, right? I like helping those people, the people who are looking for that to make $1,000 without recruiting, right? Now that doesn't mean I go and I don't know, shake them up and I force them into this. If that is what they want, this is a match, right? Now, here's the thing though. Do you agree that there is a certain amount of work that's got to go into this, right? I mean, it's not like you can't be that naive. I mean, you really can't be, to think that, well, I'm gonna join this company and I'm just gonna, when the products come, I'll just get checks. I mean, you cannot be that naive. You cannot be that naive. I'm just gonna think you're not. I'm really gonna think you're not that naive, because you really have gotta have come from like a cave in reality to, like, these days, to say things like that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so let's say you are not that. Okay, and you say, well, I mean, same thing with your work. You go to work, you say, how much do I get paid? And they say, I don't know, $1,000 a week. And they say, okay, what do I got to do? And then you do it, or you don't, right? Jenny, thank you for the stars, Team Money. So here, this is a side gig, because in network marketing, in direct sales, in my space, making about $500 a month. Now, there's a Thompson rule, which is 85-15, 80-15-5. 80% of people would want to make about 500 bucks. That's reality. Most people, when you run into them, they don't want to make more than that, because maybe they don't really think they can. They just really want to circle around the 500 bucks. Now, here's the reality. If you want to make about 500 bucks, in most cases, in most companies, no income claims. In most companies, in most cases, if you want to make about 500 bucks a month, that's a good, about, I'd say if you do an hour a day consistently, you should have those results. If you do it intentionally and consistently, about an hour a day, you could make about $400 or $500 a month. Okay. Now, some of you guys are network marketers here, and you could vouch for me, yes or no, and you can tell me yeah or nay. Okay. Now, so now that hour, depending on the system you run, your company, depending on that system, you could spread it. You could be doing a system where it takes you 2 minutes to introduce the products or the opportunity to somebody, or you may be doing a system where they gotta watch a video or watch a Zoom or get on a Zoom, and that's like a 30-minute 45. It's how you do your business. But usually about an hour. You can't be okay. So the same way, I'm thinking you're not naive enough to think I'm gonna get my box, I'm gonna use my products, and then I'm just gonna get checks. You can't be that naive. I know you're not. The same way, you can't be that naive to say, well, I'm gonna work about an hour a week, a day, hour a week, hour a day. Joan, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So you can't expect to say, okay, I'm gonna work, like Joan is on here, and she'll tell you. You can't be thinking, okay, I'm gonna work about an hour a day, and I'm gonna have massive results and make 6 figures and go on to 7 and 8, right? Now, one of my mentors last year, he enrolled 122 new recruits. His team did $75 million in volume sales. Okay. Now, when you think about those, right? 122 recruits, that's 12 months. That's about 10, 11 recruits a month. $75 million in sales, right? So you can't be naive to think, yeah, about an hour a day. You've been, I don't know what manual you've been reading or where you got your presentation from, but the man who does $75 million, most companies don't do that in their lifetime. The man who recruits 122 recruits in a year is a machine. Is constantly looking for people who are looking for what he offers. Constantly, not an hour a day. So you gotta match your hours with your dollars. You can't keep your store open for half an hour and expect to make millions. You just can't do that. If you really think that, then don't. You know what I mean? Don't think that. Snap out of it. This is a side business. It's called a side business, side gig, because they will tell you, all the big folks, all the ones who are making the big dollars, they will tell you, if you cannot do this part-time, you won't do it full-time. You gotta get started part-time, figure it out, get to that $400 or $500. You're putting about an hour, you're getting your feet wet, you're kind of learning, and then you're gonna get a taste of it, right? You're gonna get a taste of it. You're like, you know what? I'm good with that $500. I get my products for free. I get $500 a month. Not bad. I mean, that's good, right? Or you can say, no, I mean, I like this. I like the formula. I like helping people. I like getting out there. I like talking to people. I like hearing these stories. I love that. And I kind of want to do more of that. Then you up your work. You open for business more hours. I mean, it's just regular talk, right? So if people have told you, hey, get in, you can do this, I'm gonna tell you here, if some people have reached out to you and said, you can do the, yep, okay, all right, I'll give you this. One of the, one of the objections, one of the major objections is that I don't have time. I don't have time to do this, right? I don't have time. Okay. And then you got all these rebuttals. Well, there's only, everybody has 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, you know. Then how come Bill Gates has 24 hours and he does all that? Like, I've heard all this stuff, right? I don't have time is great. Now, if you have heard people come back to you and say, after you said, I don't have time, people say, oh, you can do this like 3 minutes every 6 months. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. You gotta put time into it. There's other rebuttals for, no, I don't have time, than, oh, you can do this three minutes every 1 week. It's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. No. You can, but you won't get any money. Like, you're not gonna make any money. How are you gonna make any cash? How about you show up to your work 3 minutes a week? Let's see how that works out. I don't care if you're a janitor. Let's say you're a janitor. You show up to your work 3 minutes a week. It's like, what? Does that make any sense? No. So why would you think that's the case here? Why would it be? No. If somebody tells you, you can do this in 2 minutes, no, you can't. No, you cannot. You've got to carve out time to do this business if that's what you want to do. If you want to make a couple $100, if you want to make $500, this is how much. If you want to make $75 million in sales in a year, you got to put your whole entire freaking day and night. I mean, it's real talk. You got to match that, right? But most people don't come in 80, 15, 5. Most people don't come in wanting to make millions of dollars. So that's why they start slow as a side gig, as a side project. They got their full-time job, and at one point they said, you know what? I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna leave my job, say bye to my boss and all that good stuff, and I'm just gonna work on this now, right? At one point, you make that switch. At that point, it's not that you say, okay, well, now that I'm gonna make $1 million, I'm still gonna work one hour a day. No, you won't. You're gonna know that. You're gonna say, well, now I'm gonna quit my job so I can up my work here because it makes more sense. Not because it makes no sense. So when people come back with those rebuttals, you know, oh, you can do this, and I used to use those. Please, I'm no saint. I used to use those, and it just didn't feel right because I knew it wasn't true. Like, this is back in the day in the other company. I used to say stuff like that. Oh, you can do this, you know, this, and I used to have all these weird one-liners for no time. But I really didn't feel like really good because down deep in my heart, I knew you couldn't do this like in 10 minutes a day. It's like, all right, you can do it in 10 minutes a day, but you ain't gonna get much. So just, you better match your expectations with your work. You know what I mean? You can't be having all these expectations and not work, right? So my 3 things, and I'll do a whole live on this, but I have basically my 3 formula for success, if you would, in this industry is: one, you got to show up. One is you got to show up every day. It doesn't matter what, you just got to show freaking up. Like, I've showed up on these lives for a long time now, right? Got to show up. Two is that you got to learn something, right? You don't show up just like, how are they gonna? You just don't show up like, I don't know where I put my hands. You just don't show up lost, right? You learn something. Go on your website, learn one ingredient, learn one thing about the web, just something, right? Learn something. And then the third thing is you've got to move the needle. You got to move the needle. You got to show up, you got to learn, and you got to move the needle. What does that mean? You got to do something to freaking make some money. Now, it doesn't mean you're gonna make any money, but you got to do something, right? You want to do something that is what I call MMA, money making activity, right? You talk to a couple people, you talk to one person, you talk to 10 people, you talk to 30 people. Again, you got to match your work with your expectation, right? You want to make $100, you talk to 2 people. I don't know. Whatever works with your company, your brand, right? So you gotta move the needle. You gotta talk to a couple people. You gotta follow up. This is moving the needle, is doing something to get more customers or more recruits, more team people in your team, people who run with you, right? So yeah, income generating activities, people call them all kinds of stuff. So I got a bunch of comments, huh? I'll go back and reread the comments. And Team Money in the house too. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So I want to make sure, when we reach out to you guys and, side gig, side project, it starts as a side. You decide what you want to do with it. I mean, you can decide, hey, this is not a side thing for me. This is all in for me. This is plan A and everything, Or you can say, yeah, I can do this like maybe 45 minutes, an hour, 10 minutes, 2 hours, whatever rocks your boat, right? And so hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. And if you're interested and want to take a look at see what I do, how I do it in 30 seconds a day, just yeah. You can go to sidegigshawn.com and let me know why we should work together, and we'll take it from there. And I'll get you the information you need to get. And 30 seconds a day. Let's go get millions. My goodness. Some of these rebuttals, some of these objections are like, what? Like, did you hear what I asked you? Like, what does that even mean? We asked somebody, hey, are you open to taking a look at a side project to make some extra money if it didn't interfere with what you're doing? If yes, great, I'll share some info. If no, no big deal, right? And then she comes back, she says, I don't understand what you're saying. This sounds like, this sounds very crypto. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do I, anyway, some of these objections, like, did you even, like, what? So I had to ask, is this like a real question? Is this like a real response? Was that like, are you, anyway, hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value from this. I appreciate you guys. I have a great, I was actually not gonna do this live tonight because I was really excited to do the live I came up with for, now for tomorrow. But I knew this topic had come up, but I wanted to share this topic with you guys today for sure. But yeah, But tomorrow is gonna be fun times, fun times. So I appreciate you guys, and Team Money is fun. I'm gonna go back. I'm coming back to the comments. So I appreciate you guys. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. If you feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you got to do. Spread the love. If you want some info from me, sidegigsean.com. I'm signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.